build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die.
Hello everybody, welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty.
I'm Colin.
I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end.
Are you?
Revelations.
Nice one. That was a revelation. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a wee bit surprised to be here. I wasn't obviously I've been busy. Like for anyone that's a regular listener, I've not been on for a while I try and get through being a dad, a husband, a student, an employee, you name it.
And,
Just not a lot of time for being a podcaster.
The start and the end and all that as well. We've chucked that into the mix. You've just made life harder for yourself. Really want to just strip all that stuff back.
The problem is, Matty, I take on too much and then I freak out when it gets too much for me.
And what about you, Colin? How you doing?
I'm all right, aye. I'm between jobs for a few days, so I'm dead relaxed.
Excellent.
You look like a Turkish gangster.
Oh, thanks.
Like, who was the boy? Was it Tamar, Hassan Tamar? Who was the boy that was in the films with Danny Dyer? Just like we are.
I look like him.
I thought you were going to say he looked like he was on his way back for delivering some milk tray.
That's better. It was Sean Ryder this time last year. So
Was it?
take that.
We're getting there then.
It's just you've got that sort of like jovial but hiding an undercurrent of menace, which goes really well with your tracksuit top.
Aye, it's just because I was out for a run. I'm back, so I'm not changed. I'm sitting here a bit sweaty.
Decent.
That's how we like you.
So just kick off the podcast with an erotic image. That's it, right from the start. John's quoting the Bible and then straight into some filth with Colin. First question this week comes from a couple of folk. Right, so folk have seen this. Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Tosh 1875 and Aldo Shaw all sent this one in, and it's an image of a centaur. You know what a centaur is?
Is that half man, half horse?
We've had questions on this before. Aye.
Have we? Right. So if a centaur had a dick, would it be like this or this? So like where a horse has his dick or where a man has his dick? You'll not see that on the. Yeah. It's too light. It's pretty much is a graffiti bobby that's been drawn on the image as well, which I'm a big fan of.
Are we talking behind, for the people that can't see the image, are we talking between the hind legs? Are we talking more sort of like at the foot of the male torso?
Aye, so like underneath the guy's belly, just a bit further down, right, where a man's knob would be, or at the horse end if it was a horse knob. And do you think it would be a human penis or a horse penis that it would have?
Well, so I suppose this might answer what I was going to ask. I think it would depend on where it is. So if it's at the front, it's a human penis. If it's at the back, it's a horse penis. So I think that's the answer to that part of the question. We've not deciphered yet, decided which end we're placing it.
If you're the centaur, you're hoping it's the horse end there.
I think this question is probably going to descend into shagging, because that's really the only way that we can properly answer this. And one question I'd like to ask to answer the other question is, how do you think that male and female centaurs are shagging? Is it face to face? Is it like horses are shagging, or is it more like humans are shagging?
Does a centaur have 2 arms and 2 legs? Or is it like 4 legs?
4 legs. It's like total horse body.
Right. Oh, it is total horse body, isn't it?
So
well,
it's definitely
although it has
it
has human torso.
It's got legs instead of arms.
It must have 2 hearts in that then, and like all the gubbins for a horse that's in a horse's body, all the internal organs plus the human internal organs in its ribs. That's pretty complicated things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Aye. It is. Why was this animal made up? Is it like in a challenge to the mermaid? Was it kind of that?
Maybe Because he's got arms as well, so he's got 4 legs and 2 arms.
I was just
Oh, is
about
it?
to say that. Yeah.
Yep. Quite a strong
Mm.
looking gadget as well. And this picture, I imagine there'll be some weaker ones as well. Like they're not all going to be hard, are they?
It's got to be a horse's cock. Like it has to be, because and there's no rationale for the way that I arrived at that conclusion other than I can't picture the upper, like the male upper half tugging a human cock. It makes no, I know it makes no sense, but that's what I've come up with.
Its arms are going to be too short to reach down for the horse one, though, isn't it?
Aye, I know, but that maybe that's the reason that it's a male upper half, like to prevent that kind of thing. Because is that no just a wee bit like bestiality?
But is it if it's yourself? Because you are effectively a beast. Like it's not human, is it? So,
But it's a human hand and a horse's cock.
but of the same being, though. So, I didn't think. I think it's if a centaur was to wank, I didn't think that would be bestiality. In the same way that, like, another animal having a wank, isn't it? Like if a monkey's
I
doing
agree.
it, it's
I
no
agree with that.
bestiality, is it? It's just nature.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on being able to give yourself a blowjob? Would you do it if you could?
Come close before, but never that
Come close to
flexible.
thinking about it.
I don't know. What were you, John?
I probably would if I could.
You know, it'd be worse getting caught that. Like, there's always the thing, like, you'd be mortified if somebody caught you having a tummy tank, right? But if you were doing that and somebody caught you, that's more embarrassing, isn't it? Like, but fuck's sake.
How would you go about it? Would you just lie on your back and just like sort of flip your legs back up over your head?
You'd probably want to start with like yoga or something, like a decent stretch. You
What-
can't get in.
What excuse would you give if somebody caught you? What would be the first thing that you sprang to your mind that you said you were actually doing?
I'm going to go with the excuse that folk go into hospital with when they've been shoving stuff up their arse and it's got stuck. I tripped and fell.
I've tripped and fell.
Backwards.
Aye.
I was trying to do a forward roll, got stuck.
Right, let's move on. LG and Cow tagged us in this one. This was from somebody called Elsa Sinclair. How does a penguin make pancakes?
I don't think they do.
Just with flour and water, and that the same as I think what goes in pancake mix, but I imagine it's stuff like that in it. What goes in pancake batter?
Milk, egg, flour, is it no?
Is that it?
Bit of salt. Bit of salt.
If it does. So that's
so.
they'll probably start with that, and then get a frying pan.
Do you think the pancakes, excuse me, do you think the penguins would have as much difficulty mixing the batter as they would trying to flip their pancake? Do you
Yeah,
think that's maybe where the question's going from with their tiny wee flippers?
flippers. I think that's the hard part for them. Like they've not got the dexterity to do bacon in general. Like so, no just again, pancake making isn't necessarily bacon. It's the same idea. Like if you're making the batter involves an element of dexterity that I don't think penguins are capable of.
Speaking of dexterity, where do you think penguins go and buy the ingredients for their pancakes that they're having difficulty mixing and making?
Aldi. Or Iceland, probably.
Missed it there, eh? Okay, yeah.
Right, let's move on. St. Christopher, if you were to attend equivalent of Cheltenham, but instead of horses it was centaurs, would humans ride them or humans with horses' heads?
Would it not be the fucking human that's already attached to the horse's body that would be riding it? There wouldn't be any other cunt on it.
So it wouldn't need a rider. Is that what we're saying? Because the reason you put a jockey on a horse is the horse. Did we talk about horses last week? Just running.
Well, aye.
Was it last week?
we definitely have, and I don't know if it was on here though. I'm now thinking, is it? It may have just been a conversation we had.
Must have been on here. Where it was on here, I'm sure, and we were saying like when horses lose their jockey, and sometimes they just carry on running, and then because we asked why do you bother with the jockey in the first place? Why do you just send the horses in? Because obviously it's to steer the horse, so the centaur wouldn't need somebody on to steer it. It would come when it was gone.
Aye. No, I think it would, 'cause especially if it's got arms as well. Like, so you can even hold on to yourself.
Well, here's the next question: would it give it the
Might go
the running
faster.
would their arms be pumping as well as the legs running?
Possibly. That may help with the aerodynamics of the thing.
I'm getting a really weird sense of deja vu now. I don't know why. I don't know if you've maybe already talked about this in the last couple of seconds, but if a centaur is a horse, or half horse, half man, and it's 4 horses' legs and 2 human arms,
Yep.
what does the reverse look like? If it's a human body or human legs with a horse's upper half, is it just 4 legs with a horse's head?
No.
Like, have you tried? Are you picturing what I'm picturing?
I think it would either have no arms or basically the human side of it would start after the horse's neck. I don't think if you were doing it the other way around, there wouldn't be as much horse involved. It's not a straight half and half.
I'm sure he'll be listening, but can we get Alex to bring out his magic whiteboard and draw us a half man, half horse, but the lower half has to be a human, and the bobby is not optional.
It has to be there. Mandatory. A mandatory bobby, is that what we're saying?
Mandatory bobby.
And we're going with your answer, which is at the back. Yeah, for that.
Yes.
Aye.
Right, 150k on Hanlon Hill. Category, and we can't stress this enough, do put categories on your questions. Category is lazy fannies. And the question is, why do players who suffer a bad injury always rush to say they'll be back stronger and fitter after they recover? Would they have avoided the injury in the first place if they were already stronger and fitter?
And that's the question. Yeah, that's
the question.
I was just your tone there. I didn't realise it was maybe going on. It's a good point. It's a good point. I think it's just one of the cliches that we spoke about as well the other week. You know, like one of the things that they're sort of expected to say.
It'd be good if they got held to account in the way, so prove it. And then come back, right? Shows you before and after then.
It's true though. It's like, why are they not? Why are they not just the strongest fitter? But we've said that before, specifically about when players leave to go to the Old Firm and they go, oh, the training's harder than that. And you're like, why did you not train harder at fucking the club you were at?
To start off with. That annoys me, It's like stealing a living, isn't it? Right, Curvy Nisbet. What questions coming next?
Yeah, I didn't care if you had finished answering that last one.
Did you want to answer the last one, John?
I thought I trained over the top of him at one point.
You might have done. Fuck, I forgot what the question was. What was it about? Players and coming back stronger in that. I don't think it's physically possible, unless they were lazy bastards to begin with and were just, like you say, stealing a living. Then the only way they could come back. So if say they had an injury, for example, like say they had a cartilage injury and they had to get cartilage removed, they can't come back stronger because the original cartilage isn't there.
But see, if you looked at, for example, Kevin Nisbet, he definitely filled out while he was injured. He definitely has come back stronger, I would say.
Speaking of cliches, what is it about players that go out for a wee spell? Every single player recently that's come back, I've heard it's like Hibs bingo. Oh, Kevin Nisbet, he's definitely been in the gym. Kyle McGuinness has definitely been in the gym. Like, it's like saying like these guys weren't big before, or they weren't fit or strong before. I don't know.
But they weren't injured before, so they had to be bigger or stronger than. Whereas now they've had the injury, they've gone. Well, I did say I was going to come back fitter and stronger, so I better put my money where my mouth is.
But it's always like, I don't know, maybe the cliche or maybe the bit that bothers me is that it always seemed the focus of this gym work always seems to be their upper body. But in Kevin Nisbet and Kyle McGuinness's case, their injuries were in their legs
Yeah,
and
so
their groin and what have you. So why are they not looking stronger?
well,
No, of
because
course they were, but because they
they
were
can't-
sitting down with a spare leg, they can get straight in the weights when they've got a stookie on or
aye,
Maybe.
kind
Yeah.
of weight, but yeah.
yeah,
Did you see
can't-
the pictures? Craig Gordon, like a couple of weeks after his leg break, and he's on the body weights.
aye, cheating
Mm.
bastard. That's what my immediate thought was, cheating bastard. He's faked that to avoid a red card. And I had no sympathy at the time, and I've even less sympathy now that it's evident that he's at it. Like, it's not the first time he's done that kind of thing anyway. Well, I remember what happened with Dean Shields there. Right, John, if a biscuit, cameras is going now. If a biscuit was representative of your shagging ability, which biscuit best describes yours? And show your workings. Now, we've got quite a lot of replies in this, so while you have a wee moment to think about this, we had William Turner said Mint Viscount is what I insist I'm called. And John, you did reply to this like this. I hope you don't come in a wee wrapper, a wee foil wrapper. Very good reply. Charlie McGrew thinks she made that up. Said one of those brown Hovis ones which usually get thrown out with the box and never pass a woman's lips. Make of that what you will. Ewan McAleese said broken biscuits from Yon Baker and Leith Walk that shut down 15 years ago. Jay Caldwell Anderson said a panda that eats, shoots and leaves. Jeff Ashton says nice biscuits, obviously. Hibs US, Rich T, dunk it in for too long, goes soggy and breaks off. Brunswick Bill had Duncan Dickies, which looked like wee shortbread bobies. Andrew McBee, Fox's classics, never disappoint and always leaves you satisfied. Lemon, chocolate finger. And Paul said, probably a Rich T, no sooner am I in, I've gone all soft, a couple of dips later I'm done. So, over to yous.
It's just put on the spot. They've all had time to think and that, these boys.
Finally, all these replies came in within minutes of the question coming in. Oh, Conchur said, Twix, I'm that good she thinks I've two cocks. Missed that one. 150k in Hanlon Hill, caramel log, rugged hairy bastard.
I'm a loads of good biscuit though.
Aye. Ray said an Abernethy, buttery smooth with an air traditional sophistication that one gets from landed gentry.
Anybody see Jamie Dodger?
No.
No. I'm not bothered about that either.
I was going to say a wagon wheel, it was better years ago. That's what I'll go for.
I'm going to go chocolate round, thick and Moorish.
Colin, are you moving on for your Jammy Dodger?
No,
What was the-
no.
What was the thinking behind the Jammy Dodger?
Oh, just no. I'm not going to say it loud. It's not.
You could have huffed it now, wouldn't you?
You ever shagged a bird on a period? I've no. So I'm a Jamie Dodger. You know what I mean?
There it is. Right. Charlie McGree thinks she made that up. Said, would you buy a mousetrap from a company that can't tell the difference between a mouse and a chinchilla? And you might need to expand the photo. And this is from Bompow Mousetraps. And I'll no work again. The wee top right image, top left, depending on which way you look at it, is a chinchilla and not a mouse that's going into the trap. Would that put you off using a mousetrap company if they got the wrong animal in their adverts?
Aye. I mean,
It's-
things like that irritate me. Basic stuff like that. I don't know what a chinchilla is like, but
It's,
so I
it's
wouldn't know
like
if
a mouse, but
So
different.
would I know the difference? Would I know the difference?
Well, if it got caught, you would, because you would
But would
go.
I know it from if I was looking at that to buy a mouse trap and would I go, that's not a fucking mouse? Would I do that?
There's
'Cause
that
if I-
airy menace coming to the surface again. Like,
Aye.
if it's not the right animal, I'm going to destroy them.
Because if I did know it was wrong, then I would guarantee moan about that and put me off buying them, right? As would something like a spelling mistake in the box, like the boxy stuff.
If looking at it from a different point of view, or would we say that the mouse trap would be more or less effective if it was capable of catching a chinchilla rather than a mouse? Because I kind of think that you maybe want a wee bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say redundancy. Like you want a wee bit, I'm kind of looking for a wee bit extra for my money.
So you're looking at something that's more than adequate for what you need. So a mouse trap that just caught mice would be all right, but if it went mice plus similar rodents,
Aye,
you're all for it.
Aye, like it's capable of catching extra large mice, for example. And we've
Nice.
used a chinchilla to demonstrate.
Aye, so maybe they're faster than mice, and you think, well, if it's faster than a mouse, then definitely way to catch the mice. Then
Aye.
they might entice you in.
Have I told the story on here when I was outsmarted by a mouse before? Have I shared this story?
No.
So, picture the scene, right? Our flat in Smith's Place, right, down in Leith, and downstairs. So this is the top floor flat. Downstairs neighbour started getting renovation work done on their flat. And when that happened, the Leith flats are notorious for mice. We started getting mice in our flat. They must have been in the walls, so they just, rather than hanging about the noisy bit, they came up the stairs. Anyway, so we phoned the landlord, said we've got this issue with the mice. He says, no bother, we'll get an exterminator around. So the boy comes in and they get these, the black plastic traps that have got a hole in either end, and the mouse goes through, eats the poison, and then runs away. It's meant to be more humane than the snap ones, but are illustrated in that. So we had a few of them put in the flat. Anyway, I'd come in for work one night, nobody else in, and come into the living room, and there's a mouse on the skirting board, just sitting dead still. And I was like, fuck's sake, right? Went over and gave it a wee poke with my foot. Did. Right. Right, great. I'll have a fag and deal with that in a minute. Because I lay down on the couch, lit up a cigarette, and I'm halfway through it, and the wee fucker started moving. I was like, it's no deed. And it ran to the trap, jumped on top of the trap, rather than going into the wee hole, stopped, had a wee look round at me, and then fucked off.
Brilliant.
And I was like, that wee fucker has literally outsmarted me, because he just went, I'll just play dead. And then has given it the get it around you, I know what you're up to with your trap as well, before it went on mousing about. So, aye. I don't know if I should admit to being outsmarted by a mouse, but it fucking happened.
That's quite smart though, because we spoke about animals when here before about them not having a clue about death and all that.
Aye.
And it sounds like that weekend, did he?
Aye. Maybe see his pals going into it or whatever.
Hmm.
We ended up, those wee traps are hopeless. We ended up getting the wee springy ones as well, which were not nice, because if you catch one of them, it doesn't just like instantly kill it, which is horrible. You kind of get them squealing and
Aye.
it's grim. Like you're much better with the humane ones if they actually did what they were.
So you probably want one in that situation that's capable of snapping the neck of a chinchilla. Like you want that extra bit of juice behind the string.
If it had been that powerful, it would have just done it in a winner. Yeah, but we had them, like it was their leg that was caught and all that, and you're just like, for fuck's sake, it's not nice. We actually
you would probably want one with the snapper sitting on top of the poison one, so that when it tries to outdo you and jump over.
By the way,
just traps on top of traps on top of traps.
Get out of that one, cunt. It probably would. I probably still have found a way. Aye. I never did see that mouse again, but I do sometimes think about him. Wonder what he's up to now. Aye.
When you get that wee whiff of Benster and Hedges.
Read that kid. Anyway, right, that's us out of time for the episode. Thanks everybody for sending in questions, especially the illustrated ones and the ones with topics. More of that, please, in future. If you're a subscriber, you'll get Shortbangers Extra, which we'll go and record in just a second. If you want to subscribe, you can go to our Twitter and click on the wee link there, and that'll take you to Hubwave, and you just sign up £3 a month. Get extra Shortbangers, extra Longbangers, and loads of other shite as well. Makes it well worth it. John, Colin, thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you in a minute. See you.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no